Hi, this is Maggie Lukowski from Maggie Moon Tarot, and here are the vibes for the week. We start out with a little fire in our week as Mercury enters Aries for the next 2 weeks. Mercury has been in Pisces, a more dreamy time, and now moves to a quicker and more enthusiastic Aries, wanting things to happen straight away. And then on Tuesday, Mars faces its opposition to the Sun, which happens once a year. And since Mars is still in retrograde, its power is a bit softened. But we may want to watch our words, and a little bit of mental chilling would be some good advice. And then at the end of the week, Venus cools things off a bit when she teams up with Neptune in Pisces. And it's the energy of compassion and greater understanding in our relationships and lives. And she advises us not to go too far on either end of the spectrum and to watch out for any excesses. And it's a week not to take things too personally and to stay our course, taking advantage of the enthusiasm earlier in this week and ending with the vibe of calm. And then we'll start to notice and feel the activity in the heavens, which will be challenging us to really face some things head on, and some transformation is beginning. And it all starts ramping up with the Libra full moon. And that's a total lunar eclipse on April 15th, tax day in the US, followed by the grand cardinal cross. And at the end of the month, a Taurus new moon, and that's a solar eclipse. So I'll talk about more of that energy next week. But for this week's energy, I decided to use the Gaian Tarot and shuffle the cards and pull 2 cards. One for the beginning of the week, and that's more the fire element, and one at the end of the week. And so for the first card was the strength card I pulled for the beginning of the week. And then at the end of the week, I pulled the child of water. And there's a balance in these energies, the hot and the cool colors together. And the strength card, she's about, She's about our ability to make friends with our inner wildness, our passion for life. And she has the infinity symbol over her head. And that's also present in the Magician card. And it talks about having courage, using our will, and quiet strength during times of challenge. And the 8s are about taking action, transforming our lives. And in the companion book, Joanna Powell Colbert talks about the strength card as sometimes we are the lady and sometimes we are the lion. And then the child of water. This card is traditionally the page in traditional decks. And this is the cooler energy of Venus in the Pisces Neptune energy. And it's about daydreaming of some new adventures. It's also the blue in the card, which has a slower, introspective, a quiet curiosity, rather than the active energy of the strength card in that energy earlier in the week. And it's time to ask our inner child, what would give us pleasure this weekend? It's about being curious and discovering what makes your heart sing, and noticing, touching, seeing, and asking how things feel. Maybe it's about taking a class or a trip where you have time to explore. For me, it's about being a little bit of an armchair traveler, imagining walking on the beach, feeling the wind blowing through my hair, the smell of the sea salt in the air, my toes squishing in the sand, and the coolness of the water on my feet and the warmth of the sun. And then just watching the children play and experiencing all that is until I can actually make my trip to the ocean this summer. And last week we spoke about some feng shui tips, and the tip for this week is to change up our doormat by our entrance in our home or office, and add a few coins underneath for luck. And another nice practice, and since it's gardening in springtime, planting rosemary by your door is a wonderful tradition. And it has a lovely fragrance, and it's invigorating, and it has a protective energy. Throughout the year, you can snip some pieces off and put them in a vase, and it brings some nice energy into your home, clean energy. And then another is to take your sprig and just clear your aura. And you can start at the top of your head and go down the front of your body and along your side. And just when you come home, this clears any negative energy away before you enter your home and kind of cleans up your aura. And a quote I love from Alice Hoffman from her book Practical Magic is, "Always throw spilled salt over your left shoulder. Keep rosemary by your garden gate. Add pepper to your mashed potatoes. Plant roses and lavender for luck, and fall in love whenever you can." So for today and every day, believe in miracles, laugh often, love much, create your own happiness, be kind, and support each other. If you like my videos, you can click on the subscribe button. Thank you for stopping by and watching. Have a great week, and namaste.